Welcome to twitch.tv, WFTDA.tv. It's all the .tvs today. It's the remote studio. I'm Scott Chicken. I'm joined by Penny Floggins. I'm in Seattle. Penny's in Australia. And we are here for three games tonight? Four? I don't know,
Games.
7? There's like a million games. It's all the games, is all I know.
So much derby.
Yes, the Canberra Roller Derby Leagues home season. We're going to show game Bout 1, Bout 2, and Bout 3. Bout 3 will be live. The first two on tape delay. We've got Bout 1 from May 8th. That will be followed by the home season game from June. That would be game 2. And then we'll round out with some live action in a bit. First up, as I mentioned, game 1, the Red Belly Blackhawks versus the Black and Blue Bells. But before we get to the intros, Penny, why don't you give us the local acknowledgements and statements and such.
Absolutely. We'd like to acknowledge the Ngunnawal people as the traditional custodians on the land in which at least I am on, and where our league is based. We acknowledge, respect and celebrate their continuing culture and in their important contribution to the region. We pay our respects to the Ngunnawal elders past, present and emerging. Canberra Roller Derby League acknowledges all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people from across Australia, those here today and those who have made Canberra their home. We acknowledge and celebrate their culture, diversity and contribution to the ACT and region. And we also, the CRDL encourages gender diversity amongst its skaters, communities and its audience.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So you were actually involved in these games, right? Now, did you skate in this first one? Or so you're going to be commentating on yourself? Oh, okay.
No, sadly, I broke my ankle end of last season, so I've been off. So, but yes, right. I was supposed to be benching, but I've got a dog that can't be left alone, so I was sitting at home watching this one. So,
well, now you get to relive it and you get to talk about it as well. So let's get to some intros, shall we? I believe we're starting off with the Red Belly Black Hearts, and there they go. Your Red Belly Blackhearts for this game. Number 1, number 8, Ms. Pescato Head, excuse me. Number 16, Grimwrath. S18C is Sunset Claws. Number 36, Brazen Ivy. 61 is Boudica. Number 85, Tango Crash. 87, the Captain, Holly Roller. Number 250, Berries Alive. 333, Lemmy Adam. Number 709, Raven Mad. 710, Lickety Splits'em. And number 1299, Short Shank Detention. And I think I'm way ahead of the actual intros here. I probably could have been watching the screen instead of reading off the paper, but
that's all right.
You get what you pay for.
We've still got working the bench on the red on the hearts. We've got Justin Furiosa and Pink Mips.
Ah, thank you. I did not catch that in my sheet. All right.
That's all right. And we've got our bench skaters, Ginger Dodgers and Hurdy Gurdy. Now, these is a super strong team, the Red Belly Blackhearts. They've won, I think, 5 years in a row, the league tournament. So they're definitely a team to watch out for.
Right on.
Coming up very soon, I'll jump into the Black and Blue Bells because they'll be up very shortly, and we've got to get through our referees and our NSOs as well. So the Black and Blue Bells, we've got our captain Danny Hell with number 13, Cheapskates number 16, Fruity and Slit 1337, Jacqueline Hyde 69, Jab Milwaukee 82, K Rex with on 29, Make You Squeal 359. Max Slasher with her home season debut, 399. Momentum Maori with a CRDL debut, 616. Pins and Needles, 1424 with her CRDL debut. And same for these next two skaters as well, Skate Cadet 811 and Siren Destroyer with number 3. Working the bench, we've got Janicide, Bomb Jones, Cerebral Brawsy and Thundertaker. And our bench skaters are Trash Bandyscoot.
Right. So I got to shift things on the screen so I can see. I'm like, I had the screen with the officials hiding away. Look at our officials list. We've got Seth Lord, Ruby Doom, Track Monkey, Baron Blunder, Cheshire Splat. Oh, I'm never going to pronounce this right. Locksmith.
Locksmith.
Locksmith. Oh, I'm so close. Harley Sin, Kim Parshall, Judgem Jones, Seth Lord again, because I can't read one name and not read it twice, and Dracula.
Lovely. And for our referees, we've got Axiomatic, Mushy, Rumpire, Stiltskin, Microphone, Rawn Bear, Claire Full Consideration, John Ref Kennedy, and In Line of the Tiger.
All right, and it looks like we are ready to roll with our first jam of the game. If I could arrange my score sheets, I could see who is jamming. We got Freudian
Lovely. We've
Slip.
got Freud up on the line for the Black and Bluebells, and I believe Grim Waith for the red belly Blackhearts. Now, Freud, you probably may have heard of.
May have.
She
sounds familiar.
Yeah, she has been on the CRDL touring team, the Vice City Rollers, for quite a long time.
Excellent.
She's been in the game for about a decade, and she's represented Australia as well at the World Cup.
Very nice. Meanwhile, your red belly Blackhearts through for 4 points to take the early lead. Have a lead jammer and also calling it off right quick like.
Yeah.
And we will reset. You know, it's a lot harder to see people's numbers when I'm looking on my screen than when I'm actually in the thing. This has caught me the last 2 times I've done this. I'm like, who's that? Why, it's Barry's Alive jamming for the Hearts. And
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was going to say that's Make You Squeal for the Red Belly Blackhearts. So Jax, I think that was Jax doing some fantastic defense over in the corner against Berries.
Yes, and I think that is May pushing through and lead jammer, but picking up a penalty and heading off. So we have a power jam now for the Hearts, and points coming up shortly, I believe, as we're slightly off camera but rolling around. And there go the fingers. We will see the score jumping up to 8.
It's not a super strong start for this. Ooh, someone went flying over in the top corner.
Yes, that was Barry's Alive taking the shoulder and going out of bounds, but back up, dodging through, trips up on the foot, and the low block call. Not what you want when you're on the power jam. Yes, and make you squeal back out and defended immediately, forced back out of bounds. As Barry's Alive.
The Blackhearts they've got a very, very strong defensive line. They don't muck around. In fact, that was a lot of the focus for CRDL, is really making sure those blockers are as strong as humanly possible. They give some formidable walls.
Yeah, I remember I announced at the North America West tournament a couple of years ago with where Canberra came and just dominated, and the defense was so fabulous.
There's a line always about demoralizing you jammers, and
yes,
as I used to not be a fan of jamming at Scream because it would be quite demoralizing.
All right, jam comes to a close. 20 points for the Hearts, 12 for the Bells, however. So they're doubled up, 24-12. We will reset for jam number 3.
I think that's Cheapskates on the line for the Black and Bluebells.
Yes, good eye. And Lemmy Adam jamming for the Red Belly Blackhearts.
Lemmy Adams, another one of our travel skaters. She is a very impressive skater. And let me tell you, she lives up to her name.
Yes, that was a direct attack on the first pass through the pack. Just I'm going to run into you, and I'm going to push through and get out and grab lead jammer. And now looping around as we have another power jam. I believe Cheapskates is you can see the little star down at the bottom of the picture.
Oh,
just hanging out. Taking a seat.
Want to be, bud.
No, not at all.
Especially not with Lemmy on track. She's also a downhill BMXer and a snowboarder. So basically, if she can break herself, she wants to be a part of it.
Break yourself going very fast.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Don't worry about what you run into. Like this
No.
pack, which now on
Yeah.
the third scoring pass is the
Trifling
tripod
details.
trying to hold, but sneaking through on the inside edge to round the score
Yeah.
up to 12.
Wow, it's really good.
As, yes, Cheapskates
Yeah.
is through. Lemmy Adam coming back for a fourth pass. Engaging and taps the hips just before
Like
Cheapskates
it
is
ain't
able
no
to get
thing.
back.
Yeah, it's the full body jammer demoralization. If you can't get them stuck on a wall, what you want to do is make sure they can't score any points whatsoever.
So a 14-0 run takes us to 38-12 for the Red Belly Blackhearts.
Love. And we've got Fruity back on the line with, I think, Grim again.
Yes. They got Grimwrath jamming for the Hearts. Freudian Slit as lead jammer and through. So I think this may be first. Is this first lead jammer for the Bells? I think it might be.
I believe so, yeah.
Unless, oh no, I'm sorry, they hit lead in the first jam and then got the penalty. So that led to that 2-minute run. So
Yes.
close, but first one that's
Almost.
being
Almost.
used correctly. So, some excellent jammer defense / offense. At the corner, both went down, however, as Freudian Slit and Grimwrath into the pack. And the Bells rolling through it. Oh, Grim off with the penalty. Had lead the second time with lead and then losing it.
Yeah, so Grim's she's a really strong skater, actually. I came with her. She was in my Freshies intake, I think around 2018, 19. And she went with the last international trip to America, which was pretty cool. So she skates with Vice City Betamax, which is our B team, but I would imagine is creeping her way up to the A team at this rate.
Yes, with a solid 12 points on the Power Jam portion as Freudian Slit back out of the box and through for 4 more points. But Grim right behind. Hung up on the inside, but not much. No recycle formally there, so bouncing back and forth as Freudian Slit again engaging at the back and sneaking through. And then, I don't know, battery change? Something happened there.
I'm not quite sure.
We're back up.
We'll go with it.
That portion of the broadcast apparently brought to you by Sony. Now,
yeah. I might just add. Oh, sorry, you go.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, now you may not see people with masks on in the background. Canberra has been very fortunate. We've not had a case of COVID for over a year. So we are still keeping up all of our very important social distancing and everything. But yes, it looks a bit weird, but there's a reason for it.
Yes, that's good. And us in America are all very jealous of the areas that we're able to keep things under control. At least a little better.
Absolutely. And g'day to Raven 1129 in the Twitch chat. Great to have you on board.
Meanwhile, Make You Squeal, right off the bat practically, ends up in the penalty box. So I believe this is the third power jam now for the Red Belly Blackhearts with short shank detention as lead jammer, I believe. Yes, there she is. I'm skating off the picture, but now back in.
Couldn't see who just came off the bell blocker, but she did a little shoulder shrug, like, oh well, yeah, it was bound to happen. Happens to the best of us.
Yes, Make You Squeal out. Yes, back on the track and approaching, takes a big shoulder and bumped down as short shank detention recycled back to the top of turn 4.
Now, short shank, short shank. She's one of our newer recruits from our last intake of Freshies, which is fantastic to see them all out.
Very nice. Meanwhile, Make You Squeal able to break through and pick up 4 points. Now back in on a second scoring run. as I believe Shawshank's trapped up in the middle of the pack. I'm assuming that's the red helmet that's pushing against all the darker shirts. Don't know why anyone else would be.
Yeah,
As,
exactly. No one will voluntarily do that.
Right. I'm like, I had a workout today. I don't need more. Make You Squeal had been recycled back behind and is now forced out again and sent to roll back. So just getting almost to the corner twice and then being forced to skate backwards, but now through as the jam coming to a close and looking like an 8-8 tie, 62-36. Hey, CRDL, I think you guys would like to thank DI Photography, All Sports Mouthguards, and Skater HQ Skate Shop. Visit CRDL on Facebook to learn more about their sponsors and to check out photos after the game. Don't go now. I mean, except maybe in another window.
Yeah, don't distract yourself. The action's coming hard and fast. Yeah.
That's right. And yes, 73 Bluebeard, this game is pre-recorded, coming to us from May. We're traveling back in time for Bout 1 of CRDL.
A note, PDX Speed Bump said May had a tough start of the game. I promised her we wouldn't dwell on that, so we won't.
Oh, all right.
I mean, it may come out play by play, but...
But we're just not going to discuss.
We're just not
sit down and have a chat. All right. Cheapskates and Lemmy Adams skating, as we will also say the video feed is going to do what it's going to do because it was recorded and whatever quality issues were happening at the time, and we can't fix that now. But Lemmy Adams jamming against Cheapskates as the Hearts are now up 8-4 on this jam, 70-40 overall. And I believe this is going to be yet another power jam. Was that was that Cheapskates heading off to the box? I thought that might have been a blue helmet cover with a star on the side, so not going to help the scoring there, but we'll see how that defense of the Bells steps up.
The Bells were hoping to keep that pack moving, but doesn't really stop Lemmy Adams. She will, as we said before, she likes the fast.
Yes.
Almost better to try and slow her down.
And clearly showing it with, again, speeding around, slowing a little bit to engage the pack, and then just pushing right through for a 20-point run so far, as Cheapskates now out of the penalty box, back engaged in the middle of the pack. As the Hearts are holding strong, and Lemmy Adam able to slide through on the inside edge for 4 more, 24 now total on the jam. And Cheapskates tiptoes the outside line, gets through, collecting 4 more, bringing them to 8 as things come to an end, and I'm seeing a timeout call. Yep, I would think a little wise choice when you're trailing 44-90.
Yeah, simple. Get a little bit of a regroup happening. While they're doing that, I might tell you that for WeFTDA, be part of the roller derby conversations at the WeFTDA collective. Signing up is easy, and you'll be able to connect with other folks, skaters, officials, announcers, and volunteers returning to roller derby from near and far. For more information, visit community.wftda.org. Lovely.
Yes. And as you noted, you guys no real COVID for the last year, so you're obviously well on the return to play. The WFTDA has published new COVID-19 safety guidelines for leagues that are returning to play. Check them out at community.wftda.org. The guidelines being updated frequently in response to changing conditions and regional guidelines, as the conditions where I am very different than what they are where you are.
Yeah, we have been exceptionally fortunate generally in Australia, but particularly in Canberra, to be able to continue predominantly our way of life as usual. All right. They're back from Team Huddle.
All right. We'll see what that timeout conversation brings in the as we move into we're rolling into jam number 7, 90-44. The Red Belly Blackhearts leading the Black and Blue Bells, with Freudian Slit jamming for the Bells and Barry's Alive for the Blackhearts, and Freudian Slit out, lead jammer. So clearly, some inspirational conversation in the timeout.
Yeah, they would have had some good starburst.
And a nice open lane on the inside to just swing through quickly. Freudian Slit grabbing 4 points.
Yeah, Fruity's one of her favourite things to play is to dance around those lines. Oh, love a bit of jammer on jammer action. Excellent work, Fruity.
Indeed, trying to run back and get the baby consumed, but not quite enough in the back
Barry's not having
to
it.
fully push Ferries through. No, was saw what was coming and cut in just in time.
Yeah.
But the Bells with an 8-0 run so far in the jam, as Barry's Alive now in on the scoring pass.
Fruity looks stuck on that outside corner. Someone's off to the bin.
Held up a bit, but did get through, and I saw the ref hand go up and 4 more points on the board, so now 90-56 as the Bells are chipping away a little bit at the lead. Freudian Slit back in, a nice little slalom course run through, and then the stop on a dime to let the blocker go past.
Yeah, she's
Always
got
like
amazing
that,
track awareness. Yeah.
And we may...
And all... Oof.
Also sliding through.
And she's through.
Yes. Now, are we on a power jam? I believe we must be. Yes. Okay. Well, or maybe not. Maybe there's the star. It was slid to the front of the hat. I was like, I don't see a star on the side of any of the red helmets.
It's hard as well because some of the helmets are just red.
Right. The joys of video. Well, an excellent jam by Freudian Slit. 24-4 takes the Bells to 68. And that's more math than I can do in my head. 94-68 is our score. What is that, 26 points maybe, something like that? I don't know. We'll call it close to there.
I'm not even going to try that.
But a narrowing. So we roll to jam number 8. The short shank detention, jamming for the Hearts, and Make You Squeal, jamming for the Black and Blue Bells. And short shank detention is your lead jammer.
I'd just like to call out that fabulous offensive work done by Jax, the pivot on to help jammer through then. That was beautiful work. Pretty sure that was Jax. Actually, I may be lying to you. Memento Mori. Apologies. Apologies.
No lying, Penny. Everyone will know.
I know,
well,
right?
make
I saw someone tall. I'm like, that's her.
Sure. Make You Squeal finally able to push through, picking up 4 points, but the Hearts also through, grabbing 4 more and calling off the jam. But Make You Squeal able to grab 2 more at the end, so an 8-6 gap now, 102-74, as we're down to 13 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this first period of play of our first of 2 recorded games. We'll be jumping after this one to the June 9th bout before we get to live action from today, which is a day which is Saturday or Friday, depending on where you are.
Yeah, so we're in the thick of Saturday, a beautiful cold Canberra morning so far. So we should be out warming up, getting excited for some derby.
Excellent. Cheapskates was excited for some derby back in May, while she was jamming for the Bells. However, Grimrath, lead jammer for the Red Belly Blackhearts, and bumping into the back of the pack and then finding room on the inside to push through for the first scoring pass, as Cheapskates was forced out of bounds and had to recycle.
And a fabulous zebra through. I feel like Mushy's doing an excellent work keeping up with them all.
Yes, yeah, they've been very actively on the penalties.
Yeah,
which I guess since you guys haven't had as much shutdown, they aren't rusty, so they've been practicing up this whole time.
Oh no, I can attest they do love that.
Yeah.
Any chance to send us to the bin, I'm...
A quick backwards skating call off of the jam. A 10-0 run for the Hearts, 112-74. We're down to the 12-minute mark in the first period. And we will pass the stars back to Freudian Slit. And
Lemmy.
That is Lemmy Adam. I was like,
yeah,
could not catch
two
that.
fast jammers. There we are. They're not mucking around. Fun fact: Fruity was part of. Do you remember the Australian World Cup a couple of years ago where Australia fielded all the jammers on the jam line, so they wouldn't know?
Yes.
I think it was against France.
So that first run of the "Who's going to jam? We don't know until they step off" trick.
Yeah. Oh, Fruity's out. He's done a skate, I think. So that was Frood. She was the one that was actually went forward with that jam.
Excellent. Well, a 4-2 jam steal by the Hearts as Frood calls off the jam. Now 116-76. And we reset for jam 11. This tight thing. I keep seeing people look off to the left. I'm like, what are they looking? What's happening over there? Something exciting is happening just off camera. Come on.
The benchies.
I turn my head and see what's over there. All right, Barry's alive, jamming for the Hearts. Make you squeal for the Bells. May starting off, going toward across the pack, but caught on the outside edge and now held up. Barry's alive, also trapped behind the little quadra block at the back of the pack. This thing's starting to split apart, and Make You Squeal is out. Lead jammer for the Black and Blue Bells. Barry's alive, pushes through, completing the initial pass as Make You Squeal enters into the first scoring pass. Look into the outside, but door was slammed shut and forced out of bounds.
Yeah, those Hearts defensive walls, they do like to get into those really strong triangles, particularly on the turns, and just lock people out. May does like chaos, so it's less exciting when there's walls.
Yes. If you're a chaotic jammer, you do want things to spread apart so you can just bounce off everyone. Sort of like that, although maybe without going out of bounds.
Yeah.
Good work sliding back out. Didn't come off the knee, so being extra safe.
Very smooth. Yeah.
Yes. Barry's alive, meanwhile, pushing through to the front as yet to complete a scoring pass. Make You Squeal calls off the jam. And that will wrap things up 8-0, 10-0 run for the Bells, now 87. The Red Belly Blackhearts, 116. And we're under 10 minutes to go in the period, and we have a nice jammer line hug. That's good. Everyone should be friends.
Yeah, there's a lot of love. There's always a lot of love in Derby, which is good. Nothing like a sweaty hug.
Oh, and it looks like the all-important track repair.
Yes.
The zebra with the tape, just to be safe.
The all-important one. Oh, Bells coming together. Bringing the energy up. I think quite a few debuts on track right now. I think we've got Memento Mori in 616, the pivot, and we've got Jack's. His quality is making this discussion.
Yeah, just when you start to talk about the people, it goes all fuzzy. That's perfect.
I'm like, cool. That was a cool story.
Fortunately, the scoreboard is clear, so we can see that it's short-shanked detention jamming for the Hearts and Cheapskates with the star for the Black and Blue Bells. Which one will come out? It'll be anybody's guess. I think that's a blue shirt, so I'm going to guess that it's Cheapskates with lead jammer. And hey, the star makes it true.
Amazing.
As we will roll around Cheapskates, aiming for the first scoring pass.
Lovely, and we've got Pins and Needles standing in the boat and coming on to join her teammates, see what they can do.
Yes.
Slow down, short shank.
Short shank is out, completing that initial pass, and seeing some gesturing from the bench. I believe we will get a call off. Yes. Indeed, we did. 4 points for the Bells, 91-120.
Excellent work. They're edging ever closer. It's happening.
That they are. Now, you mentioned there's a lot of debuts. Well, let's mention the new skater curriculum. Maybe you've seen the beginning skater program, This is Roller Derby. If you have questions on where and how to start, make sure you join the skating education and training community at we.ftda or -FTDA. We'll be discussing your questions, adding resources, and linking to more information about the skating curriculum, skating education and training at community.wftda.org. And now back to the action with Grimrath jamming for the Hearts. And Freudian Slit for the Bells.
Caught with a pesky Hearts defense, not wanting to let her through that inside line.
Oh yes, not at all. They did let Grimrath through, and they're a lead jammer and calling it off very quickly. The Bells able to steal 3 points. A 3-2 steal. Whew. Nicely done.
We're nickel and diming it.
That's right.
Hey, we've got some people from the USA joining us.
We do. Happy late night roller derby to Rod Surley. I don't know. It's 11 o'clock p.m. where I am. Please adjust for your local time. Let me Adam jamming for the Hearts. Make you squeal for the Black and Blue Bells.
Beautifully stopping just before she hit that outside line.
Yes. But Lemmy Adam, clear as the lead jammer, Make You Squeal, pushing through as well. Both jammers now on their scoring pass. Lemmy Adam dodges in the inside to the out and breaks through, collects the points. It'll Make You Squeal. I don't think anyone touched him. I think that was just a straight shot through.
Yeah, she's skinny and wily. She'll sneak on through without you noticing.
And occasionally hop over a corner. Either way now.
Just like it ain't no thing.
Just, whatever. I'm just going to jump this little bit here. Both jammers practically side by side. Yes. And this time just a slightest delay on Lemmy Adam, but really nothing to worry about. As Make You Squeal now slightly ahead, but both on the same lap, 12-12 on the jam. And this time the Black and Blue Hearts ready on the defense, knocking Make You Squeal out of bounds as Lemmy Adam sneaks through on the outside to now take the one lap advantage, 16-12.
A little bit of a tumble on that inside lane.
Mm-hmm. Just a touch, Lemmy Adam bump to the ground, back up and through as Make You Squeal also clear. And jam comes to a close, 20-16. Hearts extending their lead now, 32 points, because this is math that's easy, 142-110.
Yeah, I'm still not going to give a crack at it. It's still going to be 2. I'm going to do something wrong there. They need a little derby calculator that tells me the delta between it, so I can't get it wrong.
Yes.
Oh, we've got a team timeout. Should we hear about the COVID-19 Recovery Fund to help rebuild our community? We should. To help rebuild our community and our sport, the WFTDA has established the WFTDA COVID-19 Recovery Fund. This fund will provide micro grants to leagues and other roller derby organisations to help support our community in their post-COVID-19 roller derby recovery. Find out how to apply and if you're eligible at community.wftda.org. And in the meantime, we'll support your derby watching by continuing to stream.
We will. The first of 3 games tonight, thanks to the Canberra Roller Derby League. Are you guys the only people playing now? Is New Zealand still playing?
I'm not sure if New Zealand's playing. Maybe someone in the chat could tell me if New Zealand's playing. I know we're one of the few leagues in Australia that can still play, and I'm very excited in the Twitch chat there's emotes with the team names. Super cool.
That is very exciting. Soups excite. Barry's alive, jamming for the black and blue, or the red belly black hearts, and cheapskates for the black and blue bells. There's too much black and blues and things going on in these names. It's throwing me off. But Barry's alive. That one's easy to say. Is your lead jammer?
I can tell you, so all of our league names are named after Canberra things. So the national flower of Canberra is the bluebell. So we're the black and bluebell. There is there's a very poisonous snake native to our area. You may be surprised to hear it about in Australia. A very poisonous snake. I know.
I am shocked that anything in Australia would be deadly.
Yes. So that's a red belly black snake. So the red belly black.
Got it.
Do we have a
like
power
that.
jam? Or?
No, it was just a short jam. It was
just a
short jam with the bells picking up 4 extra points, and then it getting called off. So an 8-4 run for the black and blue bells. 118 to 146, and we're down to 3 minutes to go in this first period. First period of game number 1 of a long night of roller derby, or a long day of roller derby, depending again on where you're watching from. Freudian Slit jamming for the bells. Grimwrath for the red belly black hearts. Grimwrath held up at the back, and Freudian Slit through and lead jammer. As Grimwrath also breaking through. In like a 4-on-3 pack advantage for the bells.
73 Bluebeard has told us that New Zealand is about halfway through their second half of their last game tonight. So roller derby's still alive and well in New Zealand.
Excellent. Yeah, we did. I did a remote studio game with New Zealand a couple of months ago. It was very enjoyable.
Everything with New Zealand's always enjoyable.
Freudian Slit slides through Grimwrath with a nice little pirouette in the middle of the pack. Just, get some style points as well on the way through. They don't show up on the scoreboard, but they show up in your heart.
And they do count. They do count.
Sure. This time Grimwrath bumped out of bounds, had to follow the foot out to recycle back as both jammers slowed a bit on this pass. They are equal at 8 so far.
Even though it was a bit of a shaky start, the Bluebells are getting there.
Yeah, they feel like they've been tightening up a bit. The offense certainly picking up the pace after those first few jams. And Freudian Slit now a part of a lap ahead, but forced out of bounds as Grimwrath clears the pack with 12 points. 12-on-12 tie as we're ticking down towards the 1-minute point in the game. Freudian Slit through again.
With some beautiful offense work by Minori, I'm pretty sure that was. Or Memento Minori.
And Freudian Slit, another hop of the corner. Oh, but I saw a cut track signaled right there at the end.
Oh, no.
Was that on fruit? We will see. Yep, I
looks
think
like
I saw
saw
the bells jammer running back to the side. All right.
Oh, no. Confirmed by Foster Capita on track.
Unfortunate.
Dang.
So we've got 29 seconds of period clock, 2 minutes of jam clock. Short shank detention with the star for the red belly Blackhearts. As we will round out this first period of play on the power start. With the bells tightening up the defense a bit, and yes, short shank detention forced out of bounds and rolling back into turn 2. Rolled back by the pivot, who was then sent to the penalty box. So there's that.
The cycle begins again.
Yes, Freudian Slit out of the box. Short shank detention held up, and Freudian Slit out of the penalty box through and lead jammer. Excellent defense by the black and blue bells, holding the Hearts jammer solid, grabbing lead jammer. Period clock now expired. We've got a minute to go in the jam clock. As Freudian Slit with 4 points. Short shank detention coming up on the first scoring pass.
Rudy doing some excellent footwork along that inside line.
And this time dodging to the out, but forced out of bounds. Almost, I thought, maybe going for the hips, but not quite. Stopped at mid-tap, thinking there's more points to be found in this jam, and there they were, 4 more points.
Cheeky look at the bench. What do they want me?
And again, this time going through backwards, as I think short shank detention may just have sat down in the penalty box. I see a jammer F standing in the center, staring with judgment at the penalty box. It's time ticking down, 12-0 run so far, and there's another 4, and why not call off the jam, but prolong that power start into the second half, and that will take us to that second half. A 15-0 run by the Black and Blue Bells takes them to a 12-point game. 12-point game.
Narrowed,
gap was at least 30 at one point.
Absolutely. A little bit of a shaky start, but they made it up.
That they did. All right, we are going to take a little ad break, pay some bills, and then we'll be back with the second half of this very game in, I don't know, 6 minutes, 7 minutes. They'll tell you. You'll know. Just keep the screen on, and we'll be back. So we left this game. I believe the score was 150 to 162, with the Red Belly Blackhearts in the lead. The Black and Blue Bells making a comeback. And I'm very excited to see how this continues. Not that I couldn't just, read the score sheet that I have because it is recorded, but I'm going to ignore that.
Spoiler alert.
And let it play out as the good Lord intended in semi-real time. Now, you were unable, I think you said earlier, you were not able to make it. You didn't skate in the game and you weren't able to make it there because your dog couldn't be left alone or some such. So is this the first time you've seen this, or did you get to watch the recording earlier and kind of commiserate with your teammates?
Well, without giving away a spoiler, I may have seen the end result on the CRDL live Twitter feed. But
excellent.
Yes, this is my first time seeing it, which is very exciting.
All right. Well, we are glad that you were all with us. Join us on the Twitch chat if you wish. It's no longer 2 minutes to the second period. We're like 32 seconds away, at least according to the clock in there. Let's talk about Frogmouth. And by let's, I mean we. I will speak about Frogmouth. Now, Frogmouth has partnered with WFTDA to support the COVID-19 Recovery Fund, which we spoke about in the first half. 10% of all sales of products from their special The Pack is Back WFTDA Return to Play collection will be donated to the Recovery Fund to help WFTDA community members recover from the COVID-19 pandemic. So visit their online store at frogmouthclothing.com. That's frogmouthclothing.com. And you can help the Recovery Fund.
Amazing. We're getting some Ballarat love. Ballarat's down in Victoria, and someone enjoying the live feed on Twitch, enjoying some derby for their Saturday afternoon.
Excellent. Yeah, that's true. So it's Saturday there. So how's Saturday going? So what do I have to look forward to tomorrow? Is it going to be a good day?
It's pretty magical.
Excellent.
There's no face masks, as you can see. Vaccination rollout's doing a little bit dodgy, but we're getting there.
Yeah. I think we're ahead of you on that, but everything else, not so much. So
that's all right. Hopefully we'll catch up.
Yes, and hopefully eventually we'll catch up and we'll all be able to be back in a venue watching roller derby live and in person.
Absolutely. Cannot wait.
All right.
We look like we're getting happening.
We do look like we're getting happy. I think we're going to see Freudian Slit jamming against who's some number that I apparently didn't write down. We'll see. They will tell us in a moment.
I'll nudge that camera over.
Maybe.
Actually, it might be a power jam.
Oh yes, it would be. That's right, because Freudian Slit. We got short shank detention in the penalty box, and Freudian Slit out quickly, and the lead jammer. As we start the second period. Just
panty off her helmet, too.
Oh, yes, the old coming out of the penalty box, remove that, and maybe pass it off. I do see, yes, indeed, first star pass of the game, I believe, as the
That's
pivot
correct, yeah.
collected Lemmy Adam with the pivot stripe to start. And we are at 4-0 currently as the jam comes to a close. But a well-executed star pass, that out of the penalty box and hand it off thing working well.
Yeah, absolutely.
162.54 now down inside 10 points for the first time since pretty early, I think, in the first half. And we will reset for jam number 2 of the second half. As that's Make You Squeal jamming for the Black and Blue Bells. And is that Lemmy Adam again? Oh, that's Grimwrath. I was going to say, that didn't look like Lemmy.
Yeah.
So clearly a delay on the scoreboard. And Make You Squeal, hop in the corner, freezes in time and leaps ahead like some sort of hypercharged particle that I learned about in high school physics and have forgotten everything else about.
It works. It works.
And then teleported into the penalty box. Both jammers into the box. A quick sit and wait and then release. So we will have a full 2-minute jam for jam number 2 of period 2. As Make You Squeal out of the box first. And a bit of a pile up on
she's through the pack.
I think she is. Yes, I think it is now coming around through the fog. One of those late May indoor fog storms I think we're experiencing.
Yeah.
As the pack slowly pushing around and around and around, and Make You Squeal just sliding on the line. I believe not clear. All right, I was wondering. That was looking pretty close. Chose to roll back to the infield and recycle back behind the pack. Now rolling in again on the second scoring pass as Grimwrath still in the penalty box. So I'm wondering if that was a bonus. Getting the number adjusted, it looks like down there. Like number was not visible enough. Has to get some additional pen work done. Make You Squeal still pushing through, and jam must have come to a close. All right, because everyone is skating off the track. 7-0 run for the Black and Blue Bells, and we are at a 1-point game.
Way, finally, we're back up. It's all happening. I have high hopes for the Bells.
All right. You didn't look ahead at all. And forget
Look, it could change.
Anything can happen. It is really. Oh, they got extra points. I was looking at paper. I didn't look up to see that Bells are now in the lead. I was looking over at the Twitch chat, pointing out that we do have game 2 coming up shortly.
Yep. The Surly Griffins and the Brynda Belters, as I said, all of these names are kind of related to Canberra. So Burley Griffin designed our city. It was a bloke. It was an architect. Arguably, his wife designed it. But anyway, so Surly Griffins, that works from there. And excellent. The Brynda Belters, there's the Brynda Bellas is a mountain range that we sit around. So we just toughened that up a bit, made it the Brynda Belters.
Tough. Oh, another score adjustment now. 162-158. It's Grimwrath jamming for the Hearts, and I didn't catch who the jammer was for the Black and Blue Bells, and the scorekeeper apparently didn't catch it either because it's not up on the screen. We'll see if we can catch it as they come around. No, moving too quickly. Not a chance.
Not at all.
It's one of those, maybe in person, if I move my head enough.
Maybe.
Whoever it was, they did get 2 points. And we are now 6-point lead for the Hearts, 166-160.
I think that was Cheapskates. Don't quote me, but I think it was.
Sure, I'll trust you.
We'll associate that for her. Lovely. My 2 favourite jammers. That's not true. I love them all, but these 2 are particularly fun to watch.
Yes, let me at him. And jamming and quickly through is 13:37 Freudian slit. Lead jammer for the Black and Blue Bells. Lemmy Adam held up mid-pack, or was held up, but now coming quickly through the pack behind Freudian slit. I was like, I think that's or trying to get through, but no, it was someone else. The narrow camera focus tying me up once again, and a hop over an ankle to break through by Freudian slit. Calls off the jam. See how the points work out. It was 4-4 before that last pass, and I do see some more fingers up. There we go. An 8-4 run, and now we have a 1-point game, 170-169.
Good timing from Frood there, getting those points and calling it.
Yes, chip away and just take the little win and lock things down. Short shank detention.
Take what you can get.
Yes, jamming for the Red Belly Blackhearts. Make you squeal for the Black and Blue Bells. If it's being recycled back, and I did miss the penalty. I'm like, make you squeal, where are you? Oh, there's your helmet sitting in the penalty box. So power jam for short shank detention and lead jammer as well. As the
and we've got May standing.
Yes, and we did have a pseudo goat scenario there with the pivot trapped at the back of the pack, but no huge damage as short shank detention. Breaking through, collecting 4 points, make you squeal out of the box, and also through, completes the initial pass.
Now, I'm not much of a Twitch genius, but I feel like something's happening, and Roller Derby Streaming New Zealand's come over to join us, which is very exciting. Hello, New Zealanders.
That is exciting. Welcome to town. Make you squeal.
I was saying nice
clears.
things about New Zealand before.
You were. Very nice things. And we're promoting them as well, which is always good. So an 8-8 tie at this point in the jam as short shank detention coming around the pack and pushing through as the feed breaks up slightly. I see a forearm penalty called, but make you squeal not the recipient of that. Make you squeal through, collecting 4 more points as short shank detention tied up. And a deficit of blockers for the Red Belly Blackhearts, leading to quite an easy pass through there for Make You Squeal, and a 16-11 run for the Bells takes them now to the lead, 185-178. Sorry, make that 16-8.
That is we got a
nice. That had the feel of official review just from the stride. That was the coach. I'm going to put the O up any second now.
That was Pink Mist. She was our previous club president for quite a while. She was the quote-unquote pink tater of CRDL for a while. So welcoming all of our new friends on Twitch. And while they figure out if there was a review, shall we talk about merch?
I think we should.
So CRDL has merch for sale. If you would like to go and check it out, visit our online store at crdl.com.au/merch to place an order. WFTDA also has a merch sale with deep discounts on some older stock, so you can look old school as well as get good deals. Check out store.wftda.com.
Because even if you can't be at the game, you can wear the outfit as if you were. And then people will think, did you go to Australia? Were you there? And you can say, well, no, but I watched it on Twitch and I got the T-shirt.
Just lie. Just say, yeah, I was absolutely there.
It was 100%. It was really fuzzy occasionally, but it was weird.
Yep.
And then jumped to Sony,
sometimes.
and then some other stuff, and then we were back. Cheapskates jamming. Short shank detention with the star for the Red Belly Blackhearts, I believe, in the penalty box at the moment, as Cheapskates forced out of bounds and now back up, pushing towards the front. But excellent work by the Red Belly Blackhearts to just cycle back to the front, as the Bells sending forward a blocker to try and break things free, and does finally succeed as Cheapskates gets clear. Short shank detention, trapped at the back of the pack. Blackhearts losing another blocker to the penalty box. And Cheapskates sneaking through.
It's going to call attention to that excellent defense from the Bells blocker. But I couldn't quite see which one it was. So I'll just give some credit to all of the Bells blockers.
They're all sort of just a blur right now anyway, so it's all good.
It's when team cohesion gets so good.
Yes, just look like one mass as the bandwidth drops for a second when it's being recorded and then comes back later. So on that jam, 6-2 takes the Black and Blue Bells to 191. The Red Belly Blackhearts 183. As the Bells trying to creep away a little bit. We'll see. We saw a couple of swings towards the end and momentum shifts in the first half. And the Bells carrying that momentum shift forward into the second half. We'll see how that sustains, as we have an official timeout. And I'm going to mention the leadership webinar. Lead Like a Boss and Fundraise Like a Champion is a free webinar on Tuesday, August 10th. That's this coming Tuesday, presented by the WFTDA and WSL Leadership Coaching. This program features tips on making better decisions, taking confident action, raising money, and building leadership skills. Led by Megan Amundsen and Iggy Perio. Learn more at community.wftda.org or visit wslleadership.com/WFTDA money. That's this coming Tuesday.
Off to a flying start. A bit of jammer on jammer action on that jammer line. And Frew did get out in front, but I think she's been sent off with a cut track.
I believe so, and I'm seeing the big circling just keep skating signal from the bench. So Grimrath catching up to that pack that was trying to run away and rolls through.
Yes, Pink putting out the call to do the dory. Keep on skating.
Just keep skating. It'll all be fine. Grimrath pushing through again, now 8 total, and we are tied at the moment. As Freudian slid, I believe we saw standing in the penalty box moments ago, and now is released and skating anti-derby direction to get to the pack, because a shorter path. Freudian slid now bumped. Apparently kept the feet in bounds, as gets the not lead jammer wave. And jam is called off. Speaking of lead jammers, a 12-0 run for the Hearts, and they're back in the lead, 195 to 191.
And one Freeman 28 said managed to get to all of the streamed roller derby this year, which is pretty incredible. Hope you're enjoying it. We have a power jam. What's going on?
Well, Barry's alive. It wasn't a power jam. It was a hidden jammer off camera. I was right with you. I'm like, yeah, where's the jammer go? Oh, off to the back. Barry's alive with the star for the Hearts. Make You Squeal lead jammer for the Black and Blue Bells. As Barry's alive does exit the pack, Make You Squeal, looking to line up for the corner, but then cut to the outside and was caught up by the pack. But the Bells with some excellent kind of close-off offense on the outside opened up a bit of a lane, but your Red Belly Blackheart's able to recover and block things off. As we go back to quantum momentum derby of leaping forward in time. The Red Belly Blackhearts
picking the 90s.
Yes. Jam called off an 8-8 tie, I believe, 199 to 203. The Red Belly Blackhearts in the lead, 16, just under 17 minutes to go in the game. Don't forget, coming up next, Game 2 for Canberra Roller Derby League's home season. But first, we got 16 more minutes of game number 1 with Lemmy Adam jamming against Cheapskates. And Lemmy Adam pushing, 2 to beat, and gets between them. Lead jammer, Red Belly Blackhearts. Cheapskate still working on the initial pass. Had been bumped out of bounds and held up, now bumped to the ground again as Lemmy Adam around the outside for 4 points.
Edging it ever closer on this game. They're keeping those game scores nice and tight, which is great to see.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, it makes a more interesting game for everyone, and good to have sort of league parity and competitiveness.
Yeah, it goes a lot to say for the draft team draft, which the group that picks the skaters for each of the home team. They do a really good job of making sure that there's even scores and making it fun.
Yes, 203 to 215. Cheapskates on the second scoring pass, forced out of bounds as Lemmy Adam now on the fourth scoring pass. Rolls into the back of the pack, pushes on through, grabs 4 more. 16 now for the jam, 219 to 207. And content to let things run if you're in the lead and you're ahead on points for the jam. Might as well run the clock long. As Cheapskates forced out of bounds and rolls back behind the pack. Lemmy Adam pushes through. Rolling past Memento Mori to clear the pack. Now a 20-point jam for the Hearts. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Memento Mori is a newer skater to our league, so it was her CRDL debut back in May. Probably also worthwhile mentioning, this was back in May, so this was our first kind of home season after a very non-eventful 2020. So pretty impressive to see everyone coming back.
Yeah,
it'll be interesting watching them back to back.
Right. See, yeah, you can see the progress over that month between May and June, and then another full month before you get to the live bout that's going on later today.
Yeah, absolutely. Like three months of back to proper training. Not to say that the standard in this game isn't there, but it's when you start getting back into training at that level, you really just see the improvement. Hopefully in bandwidth improvement.
We shall see. Now, I think is that Freudian Slit jamming in this jam? They don't have it up. I didn't catch the number, but I think that's.
Yeah, that is.
Could be. It had the feel.
The stance
of that. Yes, exactly. The speed, the cutting. Grimrath with the star for the Hearts is even on laps, although I think Freudian Slit just pushed through for the second scoring pass, picking up 8, but Grimrath right behind, half a lap or so, but also grabbing 4 more points. 235, 219 now as Freudian Slit clearing again. But again, it's now narrowing to maybe a third lap behind as Grimrath forcing the pack to the outside and then cutting across the middle to the open lane on the in. And again, with the sort of distraction head juke by Freudian Slit to break things free, finally calls off the jam. 16 to 12 on the jam for the Black and Blue Bells, taking them to 227. Red Belly Blackhearts, 239.
So we've got Boudica and Brazen, and who is my other blocker on the track? We've got a team timeout. You may be aware of Booty. She's been a part of the Vice City Rollers for quite a few years. Has gone over to America for quite a few years. Here she's also pretty big on Derby Twitter as well. And Brazen went over last year as well.
Nice. Well, during this team timeout, I'm going to mention roller derby insurance. If you're getting back to roller derby, make sure your WFTDA insurance coverage is up to date. Log into the member portal to check your coverage status or go to WFTDI.com for more information. Discounted insurance rates are still available to U.S.-based leagues and skaters, Canadian leagues and skaters. Go to WFTDICanada.ca for member benefits and information.
Excellent. And while
That's
we're
to my
still in
late
a
night North
timeout,
American friends.
we may as well tell you about the remote studio. Broadcast your games without the
Yes.
expense and hassle of traditional streaming. The remote studio can get your games to a global audience, as it is right now, with as little as a smartphone. No matter your location or budget, get streaming with the remote studio. Contact broadcast at quadmedia.tv and check out our broadcasting for beginning resources at WFTDA.tv.
And then all your friends can watch the game on Twitch and listen to people like me and Penny talk about it from wherever,
Nice.
whatever basement holes we're sitting in. That's just me. I'm in the basement hole. Short-shank detention.
I've stolen the studio for today.
Have you? Oh, you've got an actual
Yeah.
studio? Luxury.
Yeah.
Make You Squeal with the Star for the Bells is your lead jammer. Short-shank detention jamming for the Red Belly Blackhearts. And I believe getting clear. And rolling around, Make You Squeal. Yes, sliding through back, but getting the cut track call. Even through the fuzz, man. I could see that happening. So it will be a power jam. Short shank detention on the power jam. And we will have a full 2-minute jam or another minute and 5 seconds. As we're down to 11:45 in the game. Yes.
I'm not counting, but that's got to be pretty close. For young May.
I did not print out the penalty sheets, so I think I looked at them, and there were a lot of marks, which you would expect for first game back after so long of off, right? You're gonna not be keen on what is and what is not legal necessarily.
Not necessarily primo.
Right. Make You Squeal is out of the box and pushing through to the front. As short shank detention coming through on the second scoring pass with 4 more points, taking her to 8. Make You Squeal quickly into the pack, cutting through, making some contact towards the front. And held up, but still in bounds as short shank detention kind of bouncing off the back of the pack there. Dropped to a knee, and I believe the jam comes to a close. 248-233, Red Belly Blackhearts back in the lead with that 9-6 jam. And we're ticking down towards the 10-minute mark.
I think that's Cheapskate.
And there's Barry's Alive coming from off camera. It likes that run up, doesn't she?
I know, right? It's
enjoys the
confusion.
Right. Let's start back. I've had a couple of skaters in my league were fond of the almost sometimes going all the way around the corner, which I found odd, but hey, it worked for them, so who am I to judge?
I'd always worry that you'll get, I don't know, some charging, drama or, yeah.
Yes, something. Barry's Alive, it worked well for his lead jammer and sitting on 8 points as Cheapskates finally clears the pack. Both jammers well set up, and Barry's Alive with the quick grab a point call off the jam. And we will roll back to jam number 13 after this minor track repair up front.
Very important track.
Yes.
Lemmy and Frood, the dynamic duo on the jammer line again.
Ooh, and almost go in the same spot. Like, no, I want to go out there. But the Freudian slip finds room on the inside and is clear. Lead jammer, Black and Blue Bells. Lemmy Adam also, I believe, out of the pack as the pack's reforming, reorganizing around turn 2. Freudian slit cutting left to right, pushing against the last line of defense, and Lemmy Adams sneaking through just a step ahead as they both complete that initial scoring pass. And once again, pack's reorganizing. Yeah. Yes, the Black and Blue Bells liking the front of the pack to grab this time.
Yeah, Freudian through with a little bit of help from her friend Jamiwaki.
And then apparently the pack disappeared. I was like, I thought they were in turn 2. No, they've advanced while they were off camera. They're like sneaking away. Like, what happened to everybody? You can't send 4 players to the box, can you? Right, Freudian slit is through. Lemmy Adam was forced to the ground on the outside as the jam gets called. 12-8, the Black and Blue Bells. That wasn't the jam call. That was a penalty. All right, I was confused. Just not being able to hear the whistles really throws me off as well.
I know, right? Yeah.
As Freudian slit cutting across the middle takes a hit and a bit of a landing. And now the jam is over because other people are coming onto the track. That makes perfect sense. 249, 267. 18-point lead for the Black and Blue Hearts. 7 minutes, little under, to go in our game.
Skate Cadet. No, sorry. Cheapskates up on the jam line. And Lemmy again. Oh, she must be in the bin.
Yes. Lemmy Adams standing up in the penalty box. As Cheapskates trying. Still has the chance for lead. Lemmy Adam, however, also does. And I thought was going to get it, but bumped out of bounds. Blocker that hit her fallen down, so Lemmy able to step right back in and does grab lead jammer. As Cheapskates reports to the penalty box. So trading off power jams and back-to-back jams.
We'll prefer to be trading other things than jammer penalties, but sure.
I would think.
Yep, and we're back.
Well, now we're trading jammer penalties again. Lemmy Adam now reports to the box, sits down, Cheapskates out, 2-minute jam, which will bring us right to about the 5-minute mark, or 4 minutes and change, as we are still sitting 267 to 249. Cheapskates is through. Initial pass complete. And Lemmy Adam out of the box as well.
That Hearts wall at the beginning of this jam was really, really strong. Not really wanting to let anyone through. You can see the regrouping quite quickly as well.
Yeah, some good recycling offense.
Ooh.
As we've got a down skater. Yep, and that will call the jam. A 4-0 run for the Black and Blue Bells. Oh, make it a 4-4 run. So 271 to 253, which is what, 18 points ish?
Yeah, I'd say so.
That sounds about right.
Don't forget that you can like WFTDA on YouTube. All of our live games are published on YouTube just a few days later. So the game that you'll hear from this afternoon, you can watch again in a couple of days. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit that thumbs up button to let us know you like the show. It really helps out the channel and allows us to keep bringing you Derby coverage from the remote studio. Make those algorithms work for you.
That's right. Algorithms, man. They're the best. Speaking of the best, did you know that ramp and bowl skating is covered by WFTDA Insurance? Well, it is. Junior Derby and Bank Track 2. Check out WFTDI.com to learn more about getting supplemental insurance that helps you when you get hurt on skates. Terms and conditions apply. That's WFTDI.com.
And very much confirm the importance of insurance.
Yes.
I'm a big fan.
Especially here in the United States, where we have no
Oh, yeah.
general
Yeah, you
socialized
guys.
medicine. You don't have insurance, things get expensive.
Oh
Even
my
with
gosh.
insurance, things
Even
can get expensive.
gosh, yeah, I've forgotten about that. Definitely get your insurance up for sure. I was fortunate. Well, not fortunate that I broke my ankle, but fortunate that had my that was less fortunate. But my insurance
Yes,
company did help out and got that sweet, sweet free medical from the Australian public. Thank you.
there you go. All right,
Alrighty.
271, 253. Grimwrath jamming for the Red Belly Blackhearts. Black and Blue Bells sending out Jammerwalkie. I believe first jam for as jammer for
Yeah,
Jammerwalkie. Yes,
I believe so. I haven't seen her up before. I think
think
she's been pivot a
I
couple of times.
yeah. So Grimwrath breaking clear is your lead jammer. Jammerwalkie held up at the front. We'll find out if she beat that. Yes, I think did finally get clear.
And it's a pivot party in the in the box.
Ain't no party like a penalty box pivot party.
All the jammers are like,
Grimwrath.
ah.
Oh, now I have to keep wearing this thing. Grimwrath threw quickly on the outside edge as Jammerwalkie bumped to the inside and forced to back up a few steps and come back in and again try and push through. But the two wall is just too solid. Finally breaking free. As I compliment the two wall, then she sneaks through. It's the announcer curse in a different way.
Exactly.
So Jammerwalkie with 4, Grimwrath sitting on 12 points. As we're down to 3.5 minutes to go in the game, Jammerwalkie straight into the midpoint of the tripod at the back, and Grimwrath hopping through quickly, grabbing 4 more points to take him to 16. And
We might have a
Jammerwalkie bumped down,
downscaler.
and I think that will be another official timeout potentially.
Fortunately. But you'll see them back up and ready to skate in just a little while. So
All right.
fortunately it's nothing too
Good to know.
hectic.
It's the advantage of a game from the past. We
Yeah.
can think back and go, oh, no one was seriously injured, so it'll all be all right.
Yeah. Just a little bit of ice, some oranges. They'll fine.
Yes. And we'll remind, we've got 2 minutes, 42 seconds left in this game. This will be followed. We'll take another little break, and then we'll be back with CRDL's second bout of the year, coming to us from June. And that will be followed by live roller derby action coming later this evening, night, afternoon, whatever, wherever you are. Adjust for your local time of day.
Exactly. I
That will
won't
not
do the
feature
maths
me
for you.
because I will be going to bed. So
Aw, fair enough.
I
Fair
know.
enough.
Game starting at 1:30 in the morning. My mouth doesn't work at that hour.
Yeah. Not in any useful way, anyway.
Right. Not for communication. Barry's alive, jamming his Freudian slit through quickly. Picks up lead jammer. As Barry's alive, pushing from the outside to the in and just shouldering through the pack. Nice work of breaking up that three-wall defense and getting through it. Freudian slit cuts through as well for 4 points. As we're ticking to the 2-minute warning, 287, 261. And Freudian slit with another 4, but Barry's alive. Breaks clear. So the jam lead so far is 4 points. Both teams lining up
still
the
make
top. Yeah, it's possible.
Anything's possible.
I have not looked ahead in the score sheet. I don't know how this game ends. I like to be surprised.
We'll be surprised together. I have
All
faith
right.
in the black and blue girl.
All right. Front-hit slit. Forced to the infield. Cuts back across the pack is almost clear and now is out. And Barry's alive. Where did Barry's alive go? Did I miss a penalty? There's Barry's. I'm like, where'd you go? Now came back 7 points to 12.
May have had a stop, or if
May have,
Brazen
or may have
Ivers.
been caught in the pack. Well, 13-7. The Bells now trailing
Happened in the ether.
by 24 points. We got 47 seconds or 45 seconds now left in the game. And we shall see. Will we have a miracle comeback by the Black and Blue Bells? 26-0 jam. It could happen.
It could happen. It could happen.
Anything is
We're going to
possible.
time out. So they're going to have a little moment.
All right.
And they're all going to regroup.
Got some time to chat. Hey, Twitch, follow us on Twitch to be notified every time we go live here on the WFTDA.tv remote studio. If you have Amazon Prime, you won't see any ads if you use your free Prime subscription. That's how I've subscribed. Ask in the chat if you need help linking your account. But don't ask right now because you got to be watching this. Freudian Slit jamming against Lemmy Adam as we've got 30 seconds of game time. Minute 45 on the jam clock. Freudian Slit going airborne around the inside. There's the first 4 points as Lemmy Adam caught up in the front of the pack. One skater to beat and does so. So tie jam so far. Freudian Slit through for a second 4-point run. As we are almost out of game clock, the period clock. Now it's 0 and we are on jam time alone. As Lemmy Adam pushes through, Freudian Slit held up at the back of the pack. The Black and Blue Bells coming to the assistance on the offense. Now turning to defense as Lemmy Adam back for a third pass. Bounces in and out as Freudian Slit reapproaching, cuts. Ooh, nice job cutting across the center and kind of rolling off of that tripod. 45 seconds now left in the jam. 16-12 on the jam now. 306-286. So a 20-point game. 30 seconds to go. Freudian Slit cuts through the middle of the pack as Lemmy Adam held up at the back. Now the Red Belly Blackhearts moving into offensive mode to try and break the jammer free. As Freudian Slit back, tucks inside,
No!
And then Sony shows up again, and then we're through. 24-16, and that is the game. Oh, I'm sorry, your miracle comeback did not quite make it. But an excellent game by both teams. That was entertaining. It was pretty close. It was tight. There was certainly a chance that could have turned around in that last jam. We've seen 25-point jams before. All you needed was a couple extra penalties.
24.
Almost.
And if Lemmy had been very kind and
just
not scored that many.
Yeah. I mean, what's up with these opponents that aren't just letting you win? I don't understand.
I know. Ugh, terrible.
All right.
What a game.
So that rounds up your first week. Now you guys get we'll compress your month of training into, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes. And then come back with the next game. All right. All right. We'll be back in a few with game number 2 of the Canberra Roller Derby League's first return to play season, I guess we'll call it.